Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Alright, here we go. Vicki Gunvalson gets petty, belittles Alexis Bellino's career. Vicki Gunvalson may be a friend of the Real Housewives of Orange County since season 14, but that has not stopped her from stirring the drama on and off screen. With every new episode, the OG of the OC seems to be weighing in on her new podcast or social media. Now, Alexis Bellino has found herself in her crosshairs over her latest outrageous claims about the show. After being dubbed the most hated Real Housewives villain ever, Alexis took to her Instagram page to try to tell her truth. In the post, she claimed that Bravo was intentionally making her look bad, and fans would eventually learn the truth. She also revealed she was going to start posting weekly recaps so she could let fans know her side of every episode. After a decade away, Alexis returned to the show as a friend amid news she was dating RHOC mainstay Shannon Beater's recent ex, John Jansen. Fans and her bestie, Vicki, rallied around Shannon after Alexis and John came for her again and again. Taking on Shannon in season 18 with her planned out lines was nothing compared to their next move. While cameras rolled, she and John threatened to release video of Shannon from the night of her DUI unless she paid back a $75,000 loan, which Emily Simpson confirmed is commonly known as extortion. As Alexis' post quickly went viral, fans flocked to social media to bash her and her message. Everywhere but on her post, since she turned her Instagram comments back off. One commenter compared Alexis to former RHOBA star Brandi Glanville, saying housewives make a fortune on the show, but when they know the messed up, they immediately start blaming producers. Vicki responded to the comment suggesting her time on the show might be short-lived. She didn't make a fortune this season. She was cast as a friend only, noted the OG. If she thinks RHOC is a career, she has a rude awakening. I don't think she's ever had a career. Maybe she should consider getting one because, hopefully, this is a one-season appearance. Career, the Kodo insurance queen added. Even though Alexis filmed as much as the full-time RHOC stars, being a friend is a pay-to-play position. This means you only get paid if you show up. Vicki was also quick to point out that friends make very, very little. Tell us, do you agree with Vicki Gunvalson that Alexis will not be back next season? Sound off in the comments below. In the world of reality television, especially on the Real Housewives of Orange County, RHOC, drama is never in short supply, and the fiery exchanges between the women have kept fans glued to their screens for years. One of the most notable feuds in the show's history revolves around Vicki Gunvalson, the OG of the OC, and Alexis Bellino, a former cast member whose rise to fame was as controversial as her exit from the series. In a moment that highlighted the fierce, unrelenting nature of the RHOC universe, Vicki Gunvalson made headlines for belittling Alexis Bellino's career, showcasing the type of petty behavior that fans have come to expect from the show. Vicki, whose loud personality and unapologetic nature often made her the center of attention, took a moment to attack Alexis' professional life in a way that many fans found both cringeworthy and captivating. Vicki, who had always positioned herself as the successful businesswoman of the group, didn't hold back as she made snide comments about Alexis' career in a manner that seemed more personal than professional. This petty exchange didn't come out of nowhere. The RHOC cast had a long-standing rivalry between the two, and this was just one more chapter in their tumultuous relationship. For years, Alexis had been the subject of Vicki's scrutiny. Whether it was questioning her relationship with her now ex-husband, Jim Bellino, or poking fun at her portrayal of herself as a devout Christian, Vicki always seemed to find something to criticize. But this particular moment was different. Vicki's comments about Alexis' career were calculated and pointed, a clear attempt to undermine her professional achievements. In what could only be described as a passive-aggressive verbal jab, Vicki referred to Alexis as someone who had no real career. It wasn't just about the nature of Alexis' work, but rather an attack on her worth as a person. Vicki made it clear that she felt Alexis was living in the shadow of her husband's wealth and success, positioning herself as someone who had no true achievements of her own. The venomous words weren't just a slight against Alexis' career choices. They were a deliberate attempt to strip her of her autonomy and professional identity. For someone like Vicki, who had built her career around her Kodo insurance business, her personal brand, and her outspoken personality, it was a calculated move to remind the group and the viewers that she was the one who had achieved success through hard work and dedication, at least in her own eyes. For Alexis, this was a particularly painful remark. While she may not have been a CEO of a thriving business like Vicki, Alexis had tried to carve out a place for herself as a television personality and businesswoman. Her relationship with Jim Bellino, who ran a trampoline park business, had been a focal point during her time on the show. But Alexis had also worked to establish her own presence in the entertainment industry through various ventures. Her career wasn't as publicly lucrative as Vicki's, but it was her own attempt at carving out a life independent from her marriage. Vicki's attempt to belittle Alexis' career reflected a larger pattern of behavior on the show, where the women constantly measured their worth against each other. Vicki, who had often played the role of the veteran in the RHOC franchise, seemed to use her years of experience as a weapon to dismiss the worth of newcomers. Alexis, who had joined RHOC a few seasons after Vicki's rise to fame, often found herself the target of Vicki's biting comments, whether on-screen or in interviews. But this particular attack on Alexis' career was particularly cutting because it wasn't just about their rivalry. It was about Vicki's need to establish dominance over someone she considered a rival. It's easy to understand why Vicki felt threatened by Alexis. Alexis represented something Vicki had always tried to portray herself as: the perfect woman who had it all: family, faith, and a picture-perfect life. But Alexis' attempts at portraying herself in this way were often seen as contrived and shallow by the RHOC veterans. Vicki's attack on her career was a way to puncture that carefully crafted image, making it clear that she didn't see Alexis as a legitimate force in the world of television or business. Interestingly, this wasn't just a personal battle between the two women. It was a reflection of a broader theme within the Real Housewives franchise, one that often pits women against each other in a competition for status, wealth, and respect. On RHOC, it wasn't enough to simply be wealthy or successful. You had to prove your worth at every turn, whether through grand gestures or belittling your castmates. For Vicki, belittling Alexis was part of a game she had mastered over the years. After all, she had always positioned herself as the queen bee, and in her eyes, Alexis was simply a pretender to the throne. What made this feud so captivating for viewers was that it wasn't just about career competition. It was about personal validation. Vicki's harsh words revealed her insecurities, her need to constantly remind everyone that she was the original housewife, the one who had survived the ups and downs of reality television fame. By putting Alexis down, Vicki was trying to elevate herself, a desperate attempt to maintain her place in that RHOC hierarchy. Despite the tension between them, it's clear that Vicki's remarks were a result of the high-stakes, high-drama world of the Real Housewives of Orange County. The show thrives on conflict, and in that moment, Vicki's petty behavior fueled the drama that fans had come to expect. The constant back and forth between the women, often involving biting comments and ruthless attacks on each other's careers and personal lives, became a hallmark of that RHOC brand. While it was certainly an uncomfortable moment to watch, Vicki's petty belittling of Alexis' career reminded viewers of the cutthroat nature of reality TV fame. Everyone wants to be the top dog, and in the world of RHOC, The quest for dominance often leads to moments of cruelty disguised as casual comments. As for Alexis, her response to Vicki's remarks was one of calm composure, as she continued to focus on her own life and career. She knew that in the world of the Real Housewives, the drama was always fleeting, and what truly mattered was staying true to herself. But for Vicki, who thrived on creating chaos and stirring up conflict, belittling Alexis was just another way to assert her place in the spotlight. In the end, the rivalry between Vicki Gunvalson and Alexis Bellino became one of the most enduring storylines in RHOC history, a reminder that in the world of reality television, nothing is off limits when it comes to gaining an edge over your competition. For fans of the show, these petty feuds are part of what makes the drama so irresistible, and Vicki's verbal attack on Alexis only added another layer to the complex.